Was Danish Siddiqui assassinated by the Taliban? Why is Taliban lying? Is it a warning to independent journalists working in Afghanistan? All this and more in On Point with Kartikeya. On July 16, Pulitzer Prize-winning photojournalist Danish Siddiqui, the chief photographer Reuters in India, was killed in Afghanistan. Then the Taliban had issued a statement saying that Danish Siddiqui died in the crossfire and they had no intention of killing him. The Taliban also said that the journalists working in war zones must notify them so that precautions can be taken. This story now has been turned on its head by a sensational report published in the Washington Examiner. Then, Danish Siddiqui's death made headline news around the world. He was embedded with a convoy of Afghan forces that was ambushed by the Taliban militants near a key border post with Pakistan, the BBC reported. He was killed while covering a clash between Afghan security forces and the Taliban, the New York Times wrote. He was killed in what was described as the Taliban crossfire, the Washington Post explained. Reuters itself gave a bare-bone account and said, "We are urgently seeking more information and working with authorities in the region." Now, this was all reported at that particular point of time. The State Department, meanwhile, said that we are deeply saddened to hear that the Reuters photojournalist Danish Siddiqui was killed while covering fighting in Afghanistan. Washington Examiner reports that the circumstances of Danish Siddiqui's death are clear now. He was not simply killed in a crossfire, nor was he simply a collateral damage. Rather, the Examiner says that he was brutally murdered by the Taliban. Local Afghan authorities say that Siddiqui travelled with an Afghan National Army team to the Spin Boldak region to cover fighting between Afghan forces and Taliban to control the lucrative border crossing with Pakistan. When they got to within 1/3 of a mile of the customs post, a Taliban attack split the team with the commander and a few men separated from Siddiqui, who remained with 3 other Afghan troops. Now, as per the report, during this assault, a sharpner hit Siddiqui, and so he and his team went to a local mosque where he received first aid. As word spread that a journalist was inside the mosque, the Taliban attacked it. The local investigation suggests that the Taliban attacked the mosque only because of Siddiqui's presence there. Siddiqui was alive when Taliban captured him. The Taliban verified Siddiqui's identity and then executed him, as well as those who were with him, and this was confirmed by Washington Examiner. The commander and the remainder of his team died as they tried to rescue him. This report becomes important in context of image of his dead body. The image shows that Danish was not wearing his body armor. He would not have stepped outside open without wearing one. It indicates that he was asked to take off his bulletproof jacket. While a widely circulated public photograph shows Siddiqui's face recognizable, the paper reviewed other photographs and a video of Siddiqui's body provided by a source in which it shows that Taliban beat Siddiqui and then his body was riddled with bullets. The question then becomes as to what was the motive for each of the parties involved. Now, Siddiqui, of course, was doing his job, documenting newsworthy events. It was a risky job, but he took normal precautions that across countries and battlefields generally suffice to protect journalists. As for the Afghan army, it gave Siddiqui permission to cover the fighting near Spin Boldak because Afghan forces at that point of time believed that they would win, and documenting a victory would provide a much needed morale booster to the forces. Now, Washington Examiner concludes that the Taliban's decision to hunt down, execute Siddiqui and then mutilate his body shows that they do not respect the rules of war or conventions that govern the behavior of the global community. There are many parallels between Khmer Rouge and Taliban. 2 days back, Taliban executed a comedian. Though Taliban is trying to brush it under the carpet by saying that it was a result of a personal animosity, but the fact is that the Taliban does not respect liberal forms of expression like dance, arts and music. The Taliban always takes the brutal route, but they have taken this cruelty to a new level because Siddiqui was an Indian. They also want to send the signal that the Western journalists are not welcome in Afghanistan, and they expect this propaganda to have an effect, a chilling effect. In effect, Siddiqui's murder appears to show that the Taliban have concluded that their pre-9/11 mistake was not that they were cruel and autocratic, but rather they were not violent or totalitarian enough. The real question for journalists is why the State Department, which is American State Department, continues to pretend that Siddiqui's death was just a tragic accident. These are the questions which are being asked now. The paper reports that the Biden administration's decision to uphold the February 29th, 2020 US Taliban agreement, even though Taliban have not done anything to comply with it, and America continues to defend it. And Taliban threatens to destabilize the entire region. But rather than confront the reality, Biden administration appears intent to whitewash the Taliban crime and to acknowledge the fact that the Taliban executed Siddiqui and that the photographer's death was not a tragic accident, which would eventually contradict the White House spin. And the other big picture is that the Chinese administration is saying that the Taliban is important for the reconstruction of Afghanistan, and Imran Khan, on the other hand, is saying that Taliban represents common people of Afghanistan. But Siddiqui's death is a chilling reminder of the fact that the Taliban will impose Sharia, which means that Afghanistan will be pushed back to the Middle Ages. So this is all in On Point with Kartikeya. For news and other developments, keep on watching TV9 Digital.